Thank you for joining us today on Pack 14 as we share information to prepare our community here in Wicomico County with our show, Prepare Wicomico. Today as our guest, we have David Shipley. He's the Director of Emergency Services for Wicomico County. David, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
It's a pleasure to be here, share some information.
And we're going to talk today about all-hazard preparedness. So tell us a little bit about what all-hazard preparedness is.
We use the term all-hazard preparedness rather than trying to identify a specific disaster or an emergency because every community, your family, the community can be exposed to a lot of different types of extraordinary events or disaster situations. And you have to have a plan to deal with that. So we want to use an all-hazard approach to that planning. Okay. One of the most important things that you have to be able to do is to know that you may be on your own no matter what the event is. And if that's the case, you should have an emergency supply kit. Based on what we've talked about on this program before, should have, the basics in it. It should have 3 days of water for each member of your family and also non-perishable food, a first aid kit, and something you hear me say all the time on the show, a NOAA weather radio, which will operate off of battery or commercial power. But you need to educate yourself particularly about what could be the types of imminent threats or disasters or extraordinary events as far as the weather is concerned that you may be faced with in Wicomico County. And so that would be, to name a few, a flooding, a tornado event, hurricane, thunderstorms and lightning that are very often associated with that. You should know what to do. Where you can go to find out some more information about that, preparing for those, how to respond to them and how to watch for them, you can go to our website, which is www.wicomicocounty.org/ES. There's a lot of information on that website that talks about all-hazard preparedness and a lot of emergency preparedness topics, so please go there.
Okay, that's a great information, especially that emergency supply kit. It's great that everybody should have that. And as David mentioned, the NOAA weather radio, which we just went through time change. So what should they have done to the smoke detectors and the weather radios and the carbon monoxide alarms?
It's a good time of the year to remember to check their operation, but also check the batteries that are in them. Good time to remember that.
Okay, and we just went through that, so that's a great time again for our viewers. Make sure you're checking out that website at wicomicocounty.org/ES. And again, remember to check those batteries as we just went through our spring forward daylight savings time. So again, check those batteries and change them in those 3 devices, that weather radio, the carbon monoxide detector, and your smoke detector. Very important. So that's great information about the all-hazard preparedness. What's some of the things that the community can do to get registered and get some alerts from Department of Emergency Services or county government in general?
Yes, we have a citizen notification system that's called the Communicator. It's a reverse 911 where we can call and deliver emergency information or emergency preparedness information, emergency information about impending disaster situations or extraordinary events. We can alert you ahead of time. Now that's based upon phone records for wireline, which is something that seems to be it's very remotely used now by the community. So what we can do is we can target specific areas of the county with a message, or we can do the whole county. Now to take part in that though with your cell phone, unfortunately the phone companies can't provide us with an address associated with that number. So you have to go to our website, which we already mentioned, the www.wicomicocounty.org/ES, and you can go there and you can register your cell phone so you can receive those that information about all hazard preparedness and things that may impending events that may impact your family, and you need to know information about what's going on.
A few things we want to let you know about. One is our Communicator system. You need to go to the Wicomico County website, www.wicomicocounty.org. Right on that home page is sign up for cellular alerts. We need you to do that, and what we do is we activate that system when we need to notify the public of any emergency in the area. We'd use that Communicator system for emergency alerts such as missing persons, critical weather information should we have a hazardous materials incident in the area and we want you to shelter in place, which is to stay in your house or your business, or we ask you to evacuate to a certain area. We do not use the Communicator system for any sort of generic announcements, advertisements, nor do we disclose the information to outside parties. It is for emergency use only. Again, to register for the Communicator system, it's our county website, www.wicomicocounty.org, and click on the link that says sign up for cellular alerts. If you have any difficulty with that, please call our office, 410-548-4820. your department only uses that in dire emergency where you're telling someone what to do.
Absolutely. A perfect example would be a hurricane event where we would identify those people that would be threatened by flooding and storm surge, tidal flooding and storm surge. Those people would get a call that have their cell phone registered or have, again, the wire line there, and they would be notified of what's coming and what to do.
Important to note that you don't give that information out to anybody else, right? So those phone numbers are all confidential with emergency services.
That's correct. Nobody has access to us, to those numbers except my department members that actually launch what we call the communicator messages.
Okay, so citizens, you shouldn't be concerned when you put this information into the website. Again, as Director Shipley said, all secure, no telemarketers. We're not going to issue that information out. So as Director Shipley said, that's confidential, but very important on the cell phones that you go register. The landline phones they have, but please go to that website and register, get your cell phone number into the county alert system. So that's great information. And our 911 center, they've got some procedures in place to activate some sirens in the county.
Yes, we have a citizen warning alert siren system. It consists of 17 sirens throughout the county. Fire department sirens are utilized, but also some sirens that are maintained by my department, the Department of Emergency Services. Those sirens would be used to alert people to imminent threats, something that is either occurring or about to happen. The sirens would be set off, and they would be set off for a 2-minute blast. It's a sustained blast, which you should differentiate from what you hear from fire departments, where it goes up and down. This would be a 2-minute sustained blast. If you hear that, and we set that off, you should go inside and turn to your news media to try to find out what's transpiring in the area to see if it affects you. The one thing that's very good about the program and the system is that we can set off sirens in certain locations of the county, or we can do the whole county. An experience that we've had with tornadoes would be if we had several tornado warnings within the county, we would probably set them all off, because that's something that, tornadoes are something that don't give us a lot of warning time. So you need to do that. Now those sirens are tested the first Monday of every month from 6:30 at 6:30 p.m. and it only goes off for 10 seconds though. So if you hear that, you certainly can disregard that. But do not call 911 if you're taking refuge based on hearing the sirens. Just turn to your local news media to try to find out what's going on.
Okay, good. So again, just to reiterate that test, that's test on first Monday of every month at 6:30. Only going to be about 10 seconds. And we're going to give you an opportunity here on the show. Our next little segment is we're going to play an example of that siren, so you'll hear that high-pitched sound. Again, as Director Shipley says, it does not go up and down like when we alert a fire company, but here's an example of what it would sound like when we alert for the emergency alert system. And we talked earlier in the show about changing those batteries, and that third item that we mentioned that a lot of people forget is we've asked our viewing public to please change that battery in that NOAA weather radio. So let's tell them a little bit about what that does and why they should have it.
That NOAA, we cannot promote the use and you possessing that for the safety of our family. That radio can be used by the National Weather Service to put off alerts regarding imminent threats, both man-made and natural disasters, okay? It not only warns you of the pending event, but it also gives you preparedness topics and things that you can do to mitigate that your family's experience with what may be which may be coming. You need to have them in your household. Okay, I had mentioned they work off battery, and remember it's part of your emergency supply kit because they operate off battery and commercial power. Okay. Can't say enough about it. You can go to our website to find out information about it, also how to program it if you only want to receive the alerts in Wicomico County.
And these are available at the local department stores that we have, the local big box hardware stores, or a lot of people shop online, so they're also available online.
That's correct, and they're a tremendous small investment for the safety of your county. For the safety of your family.
Yep. So again, trying to prepare yourself in Wicomico County. We've mentioned a lot of good things today that you can do, and those are very important. That's the emergency supply kit, registering for our communicator, cell phone alerts, or commonly called reverse 911, listening for that siren on the first Monday of the month at 6:30 so you know what it sounds like, see if you can hear that from your residents. And lastly, getting that NOAA weather radio, which is so very, very important. And we mentioned the website several times, so don't forget that, wicomicocounty.org/ES. And if you ever want the topic to be discussed at your civic event, or you belong to the Kiwanis or church and you'd like to have Director Shipley come out, how can they reach you to do that?
They can do it through our website, or you can also do it through WEMA, which is our email address. You go to our website, click on that, and you can request it. Or you can also dial 410-548-4820. Okay. Also, I'd like to mention before we conclude that the website is also available in Spanish. If you go to our website and you go to the right-hand side under a section called Quick Links and you select Espanol, it will turn the whole website, the emergency preparedness information, all the alerts to Spanish, which is something that we want to promote and share with that part of the community.
Very good. Well, thank you for taking the time today out of your busy schedule to join us here on Prepare Wicomico.
Thank you.
And thank you to viewers for taking the time to watch us, whether you're watching us on PAC 14 on the cable television network, you're watching us on the PAC 14 YouTube channel. But again, thank you so much for taking the time and your commitment to Prepare Wicomico.